Hi, welcome. We're just going to be talking about Devil May Cry today. Just got done watching the entire series that has been uploaded to Netflix. It has a good variety of things that I want to talk about, but more so, I just want to give my general overview, nothing in depth. The series has been around for a while. I know there's some diehard fans who want the show to be a specific way, but I'm not going to touch on any of that heavy stuff right now. We can talk about that deeply in the comment section below. At the moment, let's just enjoy a conversation about what had happened, because I know a lot of things had went down, and if you feel like I might have missed something or you want to talk deeply about it, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe. And with all that out of the way, let's get into it. Keep in mind, I have not seen every game about the Devil May Cry series, but this is just coming from a perspective of somebody who just watched the show and might have maybe just a little understanding of the games. So, Devil May Cry, a series that has been around since the early 2000s. You don't really have to follow much of the continuity that has been previously established to watch this, which is good, as again, it's not a very complicated series, but it is one that if I were to just have 8 episodes to make a dedicated series on explaining the deep, intricate backstory, I think they did an excellent job. The show starts off with episode 1 being fairly decent and introducing Dante to you. Pretty much the heart, soul of the entire series. And it's quite interesting that they ended up using his brother's voice actor for the actual character for the series. Pretty cool to know that there's still some level of connection, as well as the show really likes to give you a lot of fan service moments or just little tidbits of Capcom love and legacy through small little interactions and ideas. They really want you to know it's a game. I genuinely think that they could be releasing a re-release or some type of new way to play the older game. Outside of that, they really focused on the difficulty of Dante pretty much struggling to master his powers. So, if anything, this comes off more so like a prequel. The show uses a good blend of 2D and 3D elements, which a lot of people have been complaining about, stating that the 3D kind of throws things off a bit. But this is the same studio series that brings you like movies from the Justice League, DC, and it's pretty on par for the studio. I don't think it tears me away. I honestly think it actually helps due to the fact that the video game itself is a 3D video game. In my honest opinion, I think it's just you only have 8 episodes and you pretty much want to save your budget for the good ones. So I think they did a really good job of taking that and applying that directly. Speaking of animation, I tend to notice that every single time the White Rabbit is really on screen or anything involving him, there is slightly more love and attention to detail when it comes to him and his animations, especially the backstory from episode 6. The story does a really good job of making you feel for the Alice in Wonderland inspired rabbit, as well as the combination of all the demons that are involved in the series. They try to create some form of dichotomy between Lady and the demon himself, and it's quite interesting, especially when they really delve into it in episode 6. But every time he's on screen, I'm never bored. Genuinely impacted by his presence, as you know that the story is really moving forward when he's present, even though he's not part of the original series. They really do compel you to be addicted to his personality, what he stands for, what he's gone through, and his reasonings for hating Darkcom, which are completely justifiable to some degree, but I think there comes a point where he crosses a line that there is no coming back from. But in the world of Devil May Cry, what goes, goes. It seems that you can dress up yourself as a bunny and no one would question if you're a demon. Hell, we even have professional hunters of demons looking at this man and are saying directly, hey, you're a demon, even though you can identify a demon very detailed wise earlier in the Devil May Cry. Such a very untouched or ununderstood circumstance for me. I don't really know too much about it, but what I do know is that it tends to feel like a teenage boy in the early 2000s vivid dream of wanting to be like, and it's fine. I think that's fine. I think we're at the point for that level of nostalgia to exist. And I feel like those are the people who are genuinely upset, maybe the ones who've played the games from that era, are probably looking at this and saying, it's not what I would like, or maybe the music choice could have been different, or heck, maybe they wanted a different studio, maybe they wanted Studio Mappa to be doing it, right? Wanted it to look more anime-like. But I think for what they were given, they could have been given a lot worse to work with. I will say that between the consistency of the animation, I think the changes that are provided through the show itself, there might be some janky CGI here or there, but I think it shows that a studio can still receive a lot of freedom and versatility to make a Netflix show that does have some love for its company's legacy, or even its voice actors, or the games themselves showing up in small ways, like the transformations. You can still appreciate the level of detail even though it's a 3D model. You're given a lot of understanding about the show, and I think from an average watcher's perspective, the show is pretty decent. I don't feel I couldn't follow. It did a really good job of giving you a backstory, especially for characters that maybe you didn't care too much for when they were first showing up. It gives an overall understanding that not everyone watching this is a diehard fan, and they do a pretty good job of balancing that. For me, either it's a nope or it's awesome, and I'd probably say it's pretty fun, to be honest with you. If anybody's curious about watching this show, I mean, it's on Netflix, and if you want to dedicate some time to sit back and watch an 8-episode rundown of a show that has a lot of fun animation, 2D and 3D, as well as just the beauty that is episode 6, right? I think even if you're not the biggest fan of the series, I think you can still watch that and come to appreciate just the amount of heart and freedom that they were allowed to have to make that episode exist, right? So, yeah, that's all for me.